Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, any listener of this show for an extended period of time knows I'm a big fan of Cornerstone Recovery. It's a great organization that's touched the lives of so many families, and my family's been touched by this group. And we love to have them on for them to tell their stories and to bring stories on of people whose lives have been changed because of it. Debbie Ortiz, she's with the Cornerstone. She works in the development area. And before we get started with you introducing your guests, why don't you go ahead and tell us about Cornerstone?
Okay, Cornerstone is helping families who are dealing with teens who have addictions or any other self-destructive behaviors. And we offer an alternative peer group environment that's very caring and nurturing so that kids can get better. And we also have a robust adventure learning program which helps them to go out into the wilderness and really get physically fit so they can get the endorphins going in their brains, which also helps them to stay clean and sober. So they're really learning how to have fun without the use of chemicals, and that goes for their parents as well, which is also one of the secrets of our success. We have a tremendously effective program. At least 85% of the kids who go through it are able to stay not only sober, but also to have successful lives. So we're happy to tell you more about it.
Yeah, very good. And tell us about your guest today.
Okay, today we have Brad Smith, who has, with his wife Summer, a thriving custom home business. And I've been on your website, Brad, and seen your beautiful designs. So why don't you start by just telling us a little bit about your company?
Hi, I'm Bradley Smith. So my wife and I founded a custom home building business primarily based out of the Heights here in Houston. We've been about 2 years ago we started, and since that time we built a couple houses in the first year. There's 7, and then this last year we've ramped that up to about 35 houses. We employ about 200 people. We primarily build Acadian and Creole style houses with southern influences, coastal influences, and with all of our trades and the families that we touch, we were able to create an environment where we have a long-lasting impact on a neighborhood. So we don't diversify in multiple neighborhoods where we're doing 1 or 2 houses here, 1 or 2 houses there. We come into a neighborhood and we spread out from within. So, for instance, in the Heights right now, we have about 30 houses that are in different stages of development, and there's some other pockets around town where we work.
Cool.
Very cool, very cool. By the way, Debbie, what is Brad's association with Cornerstone?
Brad is actually very involved with our sporting clays events. So, Brad, I think another thing that you're passionate about, besides, improving our city streetscapes and developing communities, would probably have to be sporting clays, right?
Right, absolutely. So, the sporting clays is something that is very dear to me. It's a sport that I learned from my father, who actually passed away from the disease a couple years ago. And it was something that we bonded over for many, many years. My father, myself, and my younger brother, Wells. So that was a family event where we would get together, and, the impact of the disease was left out of that environment. It's very difficult to bring that into a sporting clay environment. Mm-hmm. And so that carried on. It's a very large part of my family, and myself and one of the other board members, Craig Taylor, who was previously on your show, we were able to bring our personal experiences from the sporting clay arena into the Cornerstone environment, and it seems to have been working very well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. How long have you been doing this with Cornerstone?
I've been on the board for about 3 years now. Then this is coming up on our 3rd sporting clay event. So the first year we put together this first preliminary sporting clay event. It was successful. It's branched out from there, and we're starting to bring in other people from other areas, other industries. So it's a lot of fun. It's very difficult to be out there on the range in your golf cart with the shotgun and be thinking about anything else. And it supports the Cornerstone Recovery business, and it also brings awareness. We're able to touch some of the families that their kids are part of the Cornerstone family, and it's a well-rounded environment. So.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. Debbie?
Well, let me tell you just the date of that is September 21st, and we are taking sponsors at this time, and then we'll be asking people who want to participate. And it's held at the Greater Houston Gun Club, which, of course, Brad is a member of. It's an exclusive, a private club, and the likes of which, many of us would never see if we go to some of the other sporting clays events. So, again, Brad, thank you so much for supporting us financially and also for helping to put that event together. Can you tell me what moved you to help Cornerstone, or what is it in particular that you like about the program?
So for me personally, that's a very personal question, which I'll be happy to answer. I'm in recovery myself, so I celebrated 6 years clean and sober last week on May 28th.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, so, my personal story is that I suffered from the impact of the disease of addiction for over 20 years. And my life was in shambles, and I started literally over in 2009. And since then, I built a business from anew. I reestablished relationships with my family. I've gotten married. Life has radically changed, and all that is built upon the foundation of recovery and the recovery environment and the principles and the integrity that is taught, and that we're taught to act and do things a certain way. So, or I should more say, it's suggested that they do things a certain way or not do things a certain way. So for me to be able to take that and the way that my life has been impacted and to share that with others is unbelievably meaningful. And, I've been blessed so much with my life radically changing by following other people who've gone before me and hearing their stories and their experiences with their own families. And so it's a privilege for me to be able to share my own journey with others as well, and my good fortune and some of my struggles as well, things that I've gone through that have been unbelievably difficult in the last 6 years. And that's only, if I can get through it, I can maybe help someone else who's going through something similar, just because I'd be able to walk through it and stay on the path of recovery, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so have you expanded it, that relationship in your business itself? Are people in the business familiar with your work? Talk a little bit about that.
It's interesting you say that. So, yeah, absolutely. So the principles of recovery and the way that we live, the way that I live my life today, I have created with my wife an environment where most of the men and women that work in our immediate company are in a recovery-based, that lead recovery-based lives. And they're people that we know from the recovery community that are a part of our extended family. And so, things don't, what always makes sense business-wise isn't always a recovery-based, integrity, principle-based decision. But I'm able to fulfill and to live out the principles of the programs and have a better life, a more meaningful experience. And so, yes, I live a recovery-based life, and I run a recovery-based business. Now, my people don't all know that. All the people that work here haven't been briefed on that's what we're really doing, but that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds left. Debbie, why don't you wrap it up for us? And by the way, You can learn more about Cornerstone Recovery at cornerstonerecovery.org. Go ahead.
Yes, please join us. And, Brad, you have a tremendously successful story, and I applaud you and your efforts and enjoy working with you. That's, again, Smith Family Homes and Cornerstone Recovery. Please call me at 281-687-0205 if you want to sign up for that Sporting Clays event.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
I think that sounds great. Thanks to both of you. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and you're listening to The Price of Business.